Bold and the Beautiful stars make a difference this Thanksgiving. The Bold and the Beautiful cast members are spreading love and giving back to the community this Thanksgiving. Earlier this week, the CBS soap teamed up once again with the Union Rescue Mission for this year's Thanksgiving celebration. For more than a decade, the cast and crew of the show have volunteered their time to serve Thanksgiving meals to homeless individuals and families on Skid Row. The Bold and the Beautiful head writer and executive producer Bradley Bell was present at the event, alongside newly promoted executive producer Casey Kasperzik. Also in attendance were several cast members, including Sean Cannon, Deacon Sharp, Naomi Matsuda, Lee Finnegan, Christian Weissman, Remy Price, Harrison Cohn, Deke Sharp, and Allie Mills, Pam Douglas. In an Instagram post, the Union Rescue Mission thanked all the volunteers who helped make Thanksgiving special for those in need. Today's Thanksgiving celebration at Union Rescue Mission was extraordinary, and it was made possible by the generosity and love of so many, the statement read in part. Together, we served 350 turkeys and welcomed 1,500 people to a beautiful meal filled with dignity, joy, and community. To our 75 volunteers, our incredible URM staff, and the many friends who showed up with compassion, thank you. You created a day families, single moms, children, men and women, and our Skid Row neighbors will never forget. The charity organization went on to mention this year's partners for the campaign, including The Bold and the Beautiful, Greater Love, Kings of Cali, DJ Steel, Herbalife, Christ in Cars, St. Matthew's Music Guild, and Party Treasures. Fans of The Bold and the Beautiful took to social media to applaud the cast for showing heartfelt compassion this Thanksgiving. One fan wrote, "Makes me love you all even more. If possible, thank you for doing this for people who really need it." Another commented, "Thank you to some of my favorite B&B actors for helping feed and serve people in need for Thanksgiving. I love each of you like family and enjoy seeing you most weekdays." Someone added, "So bold, giving and beautiful," while another chimed in, "God bless all of you for giving your time and support." Note, there will be no new episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful on Thursday and Friday, as the show will be preempted. Regular programming resumes on Monday, December 1st. Thanksgiving in Los Angeles always has its own rhythm. Palm trees wrapped in gold lights, warm breezes that don't quite match the holiday postcards, and a swirl of Hollywood charity events where entertainment meets heart. But this year, something special was brewing behind the scenes of The Bold and the Beautiful. Not a plot twist, not a cliffhanger, not a confrontation in the Forrester Creations showroom. This time, the cast was coming together to make a difference far beyond the soundstage. The idea began quietly. Catherine Kelly Lang had been scrolling late at night, reading about rising food insecurity across California. If our show is about family, messy, dramatic, but loyal, then we should carry some of that energy into real life, she murmured to herself. By morning, she had emailed half the cast. Within days, the holiday project had a name, the Bold and Thankful Initiative. Its mission was simple: spread warmth, meals, and moments of human connection throughout Los Angeles during Thanksgiving week. A warehouse full of gratitude. The plan turned a rented downtown warehouse into a bustling staging center filled with long tables, crates of produce, coolers of turkey, and volunteers wearing shirts that read, "Bold Hearts, Beautiful Acts." Cast members arrived in waves, some still holding coffee, some still wearing traces of stage makeup. Torsten K. walked in first, hauling a stack of boxes so high he could barely see. "I play a cranky guy on TV," he joked, lowering the boxes with a grunt, "but don't let that fool you. I know how to carry things." Soon after, Annika Noel arrived with a group of fans from her social media community, a group she had invited to volunteer alongside the cast. "We share stories on set," she said, handing out aprons, "so why not share kindness too?" The warehouse buzzed with energy: turkey assembly lines, dessert packing teams, volunteers creating handwritten notes to tuck inside meal bags. Some notes were simple, "You matter." Others were witty, clearly written by actors accustomed to punchlines. "May your Thanksgiving be less dramatic than a Forrester family dinner." By noon, the meal count had passed 2,000. A visit to Silver Lantern House. The first delivery stop was Silver Lantern House, a transitional shelter tucked between two aging apartment buildings in East Los Angeles. For many residents, Thanksgiving only highlighted what they had lost: family, homes, routines. But that morning, the entrance glowed with pumpkins and paper leaves, decorated by the shelter's children. Jacqueline McInnes would crouch down to talk to a girl who clutched a cardboard tiara. "Are you a princess?" Jacqueline asked. "No," the girl giggled. "I'm a fashion designer. Like on your show." "Well," Jacqueline said, adjusting the tiara, "your look is runway ready." Inside, John McCook chatted with older residents. Some recognized him immediately. "Eric Forrester is at our Thanksgiving?" one woman whispered, half in disbelief. "Don't tell me he brought one of his famous feasts." "I can't promise gourmet," he said with a grin, passing her a plate, "but I can promise it's made with love." Laughter rippled through the room. Meals were served. Stories were exchanged. A trio of cast members led a makeshift sing-along. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't orchestrated for cameras. It was simply human. Cooking with community. The next project was one close to Lawrence St. Victor's heart, a collaborative cooking day at Rosa Verde Community Kitchen, a nonprofit that empowers families through culinary education. By the time Lawrence arrived, the kitchen was a symphony of chopping, sizzling, and laughter. Volunteers learned how to prepare affordable, nutritious Thanksgiving dishes. Lawrence jumped in at the stove, showing a group of teenagers how to season roasted vegetables. "Cooking is the great equalizer," he said as he tossed herbs into a sizzling pan. "It brings people together, just like stories do." One young volunteer asked, "If you were writing a Thanksgiving episode for your character, what would happen?" Lawrence paused thoughtfully. Maybe he'd learned that saving the day doesn't always mean being the hero, sometimes it means being present. The teenagers nodded as though he had delivered a monologue of Shakespearean depth. A Thanksgiving table in the park. On Thanksgiving morning, the cast assembled at MacArthur Park, where a long communal table stood decorated with sunflowers, mismatched tablecloths, and napkins patterned with tiny golden stars. Here, the bold and thankful team hosted an open community meal. No RSVP required. Families, students, seniors, and people experiencing housing insecurity all gathered at the same table. Friends and strangers shared mashed potatoes, passed platters of turkey, poured lemonade, and talked about everything from childhood memories to celebrity crushes.